I get a lot of emails from dog owners asking me, what kind of food do I recommend? What should I feed my dog? What's the best for my dog? And I'm not here to recommend any one brand, but I am going to talk a little bit about what you should look for in a dog food, because not all dog food is created equal. There's some stuff out there that's junk, and there's some stuff out there that's really good. All right? So the first thing you should understand, though, is that you should always read the ingredients on the dog food bag. That'll let you know whether the dog food is good or if it's junk. And the first ingredient right here is lamb meal, which means that's pretty good food. So I'm going to give you some basic guidelines on choosing the right food for your dog. And the first thing is that you need to look at the protein for your dog. Is it a lamb or chicken meal or byproduct? If it's a byproduct, that means any part of the chicken they can throw in the dog food. If it's chicken meal, that means they're just using the meat from the chicken to make the food. So I like to use dog foods and feed dog foods that have meal as opposed to byproducts. So that's the first thing you want to be aware of. The other thing is look at the grain source. A lot of dog foods use different types of grain. Some use corn, some use rice, some use oatmeal. I like to use grains that are easy to digest. Corn is a difficult grain to digest. A human has 26 feet of intestines, and we have a difficult time digesting corn. Your dog has 8 feet of intestines. So if we have a hard time digesting corn with that long intestinal tract, your dog's going to have a difficult time also. So I like to use rice, oatmeal, those types of grains, much easier to digest. Rice, one of the first grains that you feed a baby, so easy thing to digest and something to think about when you're looking at the dog food. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is how is the dog food preserved. A lot of dog foods are preserved with some pretty nasty chemicals. Ethoxyquin, BHA, BHT, they use red dyes, yellow dyes, dye number 9. That stuff's not good for you. It's not good for your dog. Ethoxyquin has been linked to cancer. So you got to remember, your dog eats pretty much just what comes out of the bag. So they're getting that ethoxyquin every day. So I like to use and feed dog foods that are preserved naturally with vitamin E. So Nutramax is one food. Canidae is another food. They use vitamin E to preserve the food. So those are just some basic guidelines that you can follow when you're trying to choose a food for your dog. Make sure it's a meal, not a byproduct. Look at the grain source, and is it preserved naturally or with chemicals? Some basic guidelines.